And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the week of September 20, 2021. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's broadcast, we're going to speak with three of our team members here at ACAP about the quarantine social support services that we offer countywide and why those are so critically important right now with the spike in COVID cases across Aroostook County. But before we get to that, as we do each time at this point in the broadcast, we are first going to share the news and information that you can use again for this, the week of September 20th, 2021. We start with the COVID-19 social services supports. We're going to talk more about this with our guests in just a little bit, but for individuals who are affected by COVID-19 and are being asked to isolate and quarantine, we do provide services such as grocery and meal delivery, shelter assistance to stay in home, also income and rent support through some of our existing programs like rental assistance here at ACAP and a number more. We're going to talk with our guests about that in just a little bit, but given the spike in numbers, we wanted to share this with you right at the top of the broadcast. If you need more information, you can look at the website that's listed there on your screen, or you can also call our 764-37221 number directly, and we will connect you with quarantine social supports. Again, this is for individuals who have been asked to isolate or quarantine. As a result of the spike in COVID cases, we remind you that if you are engaging with an ACAP office in person, that face coverings are required at all of our facilities in Aroostook County, those who are able to accept members of the public at this time. Again, our early care and education centers are not currently seeing customers in their workspaces at this time because of the COVID-19 spike, and we are monitoring it very closely. Our Gouldville Early Care and Education Center in Presque Isle is currently closed because of the outbreak numbers in Presque Isle at this point. So, and others may close as we move forward from this point. We also want to remind folks, we think it's a good time to remind folks that COVID-19 vaccines continue to be available through our healthcare partners throughout Aroostook County. If you are having trouble connecting with an appointment and are asked to do some work online with that and need our assistance to do that, you can contact us. Call our number at 764-3721, and a receptionist here will help you go online to find out where the nearest appointment is available for you, or also to be able to help you register online if that is required. That said, there are a number of walk-in clinics available, especially in central Aroostook County, without an appointment, and we encourage you to look into those as well, and we can help you with that process as well. Moving on from COVID news, we are pleased to announce that our Hope and Prosperity Resource Center is now open. Currently limited hours, we have expanded those from 9 to 3 and plan to expand those to full days when the Hope and Prosperity Wellness Shelter at a local hotel closes at the end of September. So by October, we will be reopening the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center full-time, full days. It is located at the 1 Edgemont Drive facility that ACAP recently moved into. And that facility, for those of you who weren't familiar, the location of the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center is the former office of the, for many years, the Aroostook Area Agency on Aging. This is especially for individuals who are experiencing homelessness, who are housing insecure, but all ACAP services certainly can be accessed through this facility if you are in need of assistance for any reason. We also want to share with you that if you are in need, and we've been sharing this with you for rental assistance at this time because your household is experiencing additional costs or expenses as a result of COVID-19, we certainly encourage you to do that. The rental assistance program application is available online, both on the ACAP website as well as on the main housing website. You can also, if you are unable to complete the online application, you can call us at 764-3721, and we have staff on site that can help prepare that application and submit it electronically for you. The HEAP announcement that we've made in recent weeks, we're very pleased to reiterate this news to folks out there. The Home Energy Assistance Program is issuing supplemental payments to those who qualified last season for HEAP. Those payments have actually started to go out. We've heard from some of our customers here in Aroostook County that they have received notification that that payment is being made on their fuel vendor account. It will be directed on the fuel vendor account, not a payment directly to you, unless you receive direct benefit because you are in subsidized housing or heat included subsidized housing. In that case, you would receive any payment yourself. So please be on the lookout for that. There is no action required by you. However, one piece of action that we would like you to take is to please retain your 2021-2022 HEAP season appointment, because this supplemental benefit is not replacing that and is not the automatic payment. You do still have the opportunity to get your HEAP benefit for this season, which will come in especially handy when this supplemental benefit runs out later in the heating season. With that, we want to remind folks that the Home Energy Assistance Program income guidelines have increased slightly this year. So if you are looking at this income chart, this income eligibility chart, which is also available on the ACAP website, please note the income level for your household size. And if you think you're within that area, even if you're a little bit above, it's worth giving us a call here at ACAP, because we can work with you with medical expenses and others to see if we can get you within the area of the general guidelines that are listed here on this sheet. So please do, again, give us a call if you think you might be eligible for the Home Energy Assistance Program, or would just like to explore that further. We also want to remind folks out there, if you are a company that does snow removal, our agency is currently looking for and has a request for proposals out to the community for snow removal at our various facilities across Aroostook County. So if you're in Holton or up in the St. John Valley, please do consider submitting an application. You can find the information, you should give us a call at 551-3832 if you would like to receive information on that RFP. I believe we also have it on our website as well. The Early Care and Education Program is continuing to take applications. We have some limited slots available across Aroostook County in various programs. Where we do have slots available, though, is in a new infant and toddler childcare classroom that we are setting up in Fort Kent. We don't have all of the slots filled for that classroom yet, and it's beginning next month in October of this year. This is for children ages 6 weeks through 3 years of age, and there are no income requirements and no income eligibility guidelines. And it's a quality early childhood experience, education experience. We provide breakfast, healthy meals, and breakfast, lunch, and snacks are all provided as part of that weekly fee. We also accept subsidy payments from the state of Maine, from TANF and Aspire. And the state of Maine Child Care Subsidy Program at this time is waiving the parent fees. So you could get your actual child care provided through the month of March 2020 at no out-of-pocket cost to your household if you qualify for the child care subsidy in the state of Maine. Our Freedom from Smoking class is something that we are continuing to offer, and we are in need of individuals ages 18 and up to participate in this program. We are partnering right now with SAD1, Adult and Community Education, to offer these courses in October and November. The schedule there is on that flyer that you see on your screen. We encourage you to register through the MSAD1 website, or you can give us a call here at ACAP, and Elaine's site will help you get registered for this class. This is to help individuals be free from tobacco, and it ranges from cigarette to other tobacco use products. And again, if you are thinking about quitting smoking, please do give Elaine a call. She can also offer some private sessions if you prefer not to participate in this class or are needing a different time for those services to be available. So it's worth a call to Elaine site. Call her here at ACAP. You can reach her through our main line as well. The other information that we wanted to share with you is information for parents out there of school-age children. School meals are being offered free of charge here in the state of Maine this year as part of extended pandemic supports, but the state of Maine has made, moving forward, the opportunity for all children across the state of Maine to receive free school lunch meals. But we are in need of you helping the state of Maine to be able to indicate how many children would otherwise be eligible for free school meals. So if you could please visit the website on your screen and apply online for the free and reduced school meal program. That'll help the state of Maine claim the subsidies to support this program that will provide all children free school meals moving forward after this next year of pandemic support. September is National Childhood Obesity Awareness Month. Our prevention programs are asking you to think about that, and they offer a number of tips here on the screen as to how you can help your children children in terms of making healthy choices relating food as well as physical activity, everything from buying local fruits and vegetables through your local farmers market to healthy sleep patterns to getting kids moving. So our WIC program, as well as our 5210 Let's Go program and SNAP Ed programs and other nutrition programs in the agency are all reminding you to please work with your children, especially through September as National Childhood Obesity Awareness Month, to look at how you can make healthy choices related to food as well as physical activity. We are also looking forward to October here at ACAP, and some of our other prevention programs are encouraging folks to work along with them to take the Sober October pledge. Is just what it sounds like, to consider going substance-free for the weeks of October, and also helping you create positive change within your own health. You can see some of the benefits there to taking the Sober October pledge and to going sober through the month of October. On next week's ACAP Today, we'll talk a little bit more about this program and how you can take the pledge online yourself and make the commitment to be sober through October. And lastly, in this week's news and information you can use, if any of the programs that we've talked about here are something that you think that you might be able to use, or if you are in need of any assistance or assistance of any kind and don't have the supports and the services or don't have access or know what's available, we encourage you to contact our navigators here at the agency at 764-3721. Ask to speak to a navigator and they can help you, whether it's services we offer here at ACAP or community services that they are aware of. They can help you navigate those services and make you aware of what they might be and get you connected with them. And with that, that's this week's news and information you can use. I'm pleased now to turn to our guests on this week's edition of ACAP Today. First is Theresa Dow O'Leary, who is ACAP's coordinator for housing support services. Theresa, welcome to ACAP Today. It's nice to have you.
Thank you, Jason.
And we are also joined by two of our family coaches to talk with Theresa about the COVID social support services that we are offering. They are Sandra London, who serves customers in the Southern Aroostook area. Sandra, welcome to ACAP Today.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Nice to have you back. And also joined by Kiley Pelletier, a family coach serving customers in the Central Aroostook area. And just because we have Kiley and Sandra who represent the central and southern part, we also have these services available in the St. John Valley as well. And just want to make that note off the top. But Kiley, welcome to you as well.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right, so Theresa, let me start with you as the person responsible for oversight of our COVID social supports program and working with our coaches to deliver these services throughout Aroostook County. At the top of the broadcast, I talked a little bit about what COVID social supports are, but if you could help individuals out there understand exactly what it is that you and your team do and are available to do and what assistance you're able to provide.
We're able to assist those individuals within Aroostook County that have been asked to isolate or quarantine due to an exposure or testing positive to COVID-19. During that time, we are able to assist with grocery shops to help support the family, emotional support, and social support, because during that time it can be very lonely if you're in a room quarantining by yourself, as well as potentially placing somebody in a local hotel to do their isolation and quarantine in order to protect the family and other family members from testing positive.
So very important services, and I think probably you are experiencing the reflection of what we're seeing in the community as a whole with the spike in these cases. How busy are you right now?
Last month was, I began with the agency in May, and last month was the largest month that we've seen since I started here at ACAP. I'm attributing some of that to schools being back in session and, kiddos being kind of in closer quarters with one another. But yes, we saw a definite uptick last month. We served 17 families, where in the past it could have been 2 or 3 that we'd received throughout the month.
So let's talk about how, if you're a family out there or household or an individual who either thinks, gosh, I could really use this support, or I know someone who's family's isolating right now and quarantining because of COVID-19, either an exposure or an actual case. How do they get started? How do they connect with this service?
One of 2 things could happen. It could be a situation that they've gone through the tracing through DHHS and a referral comes from the state of Maine. There's also a link for a self-referral that can be done that the agency has, and I believe it's also posted on our Facebook page and potentially our website as well. They can also contact the agency and speak to either myself, and I know they've also been connected to Sandra or to Kiley in the past to do a brief, it's about a 10-question document that we submit and then we send into the state, and that helps to get the process going for the referral.
And so let's take it from there, Theresa. What happens once you get the referral either from the Department of Health and Human Services, CDC, or somebody self-refers and calls and connects directly with the agency? What happens then?
The referral is then sent out. It transfers back to us, for instance, if it was done inside the agency. From there, we attempt to make contact with the family. Sometimes this can be challenging just based on, whether or not their phone's on, or potentially they could be sleeping and resting. We work to make contact with the family. We ask what needs that they have, in any way that we could be able to assist, whether or not it's, do you have enough food to get you through the quarantine? How do things look as far as propane or fuel for the family? Are you being taken out of work? Those types of situations are questions that we're asking, because that helps us determine the best way that the agency and the program can support those in need.
And Sandra, that's where you and Kiley really step in here. So tell me what happens when you receive the call from somebody within the agency who's sort of processed the initial, we have a case in Holton or in Southern Aroostook in your case. What do you do then?
Well, actually, I have one waiting for me after this interview. And what I'll do is I will contact the individual, because there seemed to be a larger number of people in the, my quick overview showed that there was a larger number of people and that the mother was breastfeeding and needs to isolate herself into a bedroom. She was offered to go to another, hotel or something, and she didn't feel that she could leave the family. So she was going to quarantine in the bedroom. We talked to them and find out what their needs are. Sometimes, well, a lot of times it's over-the-counter medication like children's Tylenol or ibuprofen. Parents need Tylenol, ibuprofen, flu and cough medication, could be cough drops, thermometers. We do offer, usually they don't mention this unless a doctor states or if they report that they're having problems with respiratory. We are able to purchase, if Walmart has them available, the O2 meters for at-home use. So that will help. Yeah, so it measures their oxygen at home. So they'll know if it goes below a certain level that they need to contact or return to the emergency room for more intense support.
So Kiley, I imagine it's similar for you in terms of the services that you're able to provide in Central Aroostook. Maybe expand upon some of those a bit.
Yeah, so basically the same thing. I've helped people with food, water, like I do a grocery list with them. I know exactly what they want, what kind of cereal, what kind of milk, like things like that. And thermometers, Tylenol. I've done someone had diabetes that I worked with, and I got them the strips and whatever else, the testing stuff that they need for that. So basically we just kind of see what it is that's going on and what we can help them with. And if we can do that, we get the okay, and then we do it.
And diapers and wipes, a lot of times I forget about that there's families with younger children that we end up buying the diapers and wipes and anything necessary for an infant or a small child.
Is Sandra, to that point, is this a one and done thing? Do they only have one shot at bat? So in other words, if the referral's made initially and you've delivered groceries, but the family's quarantining for several days, and I know in some cases this continues because somebody else in the household, and then the clock starts over. So this is an opportunity that you follow them and you keep with it if need be.
Yeah, exactly. Because some families, like so far, we've seen up to 3 weeks because one, they do the 3 to 5 day testing after the first person was tested positive. They test positive. So the whole family, even the first one initially had COVID, has to go another 10 to 14 days, whatever the CDC has recommended. So there are times where, especially if there's a family with small children, that need food and fresh fruit and vegetables and stuff like that, that we may need to go back and get, more fresh fruit or meat items for them.
And Kylie, what do you hear from those families who you are connecting with? And obviously you're connecting with them virtually, and even when you bring items, you're not obviously visiting with them for intentional reasons. But what is the response that you're receiving in the communication that you're having with them?
For the most part, people can't believe that there's something like this to help them in this way, that I can bring food right to their door and drop it off, so they have everything that they need. That people are so grateful. They just can't even believe it. And they're like, most people say like, I don't really need help. I don't want to ask for help, but when I just tell them, there's money for this for you, you are not supposed to leave, like, let us help you, then just people are just really grateful.
And people have been very surprised that, because I've had people ask me how much it's going to cost them and stuff. And as I told them, it's at no cost to you. We do have a program that's in place that will pay for these items. And a lot of families try not to go overboard. They try to just give you a list of what they think they need for that amount of time. So, and we have to, a lot of times, the one thing I did pick up on early was I have to ask about, I've started asking about allergies, because I found a lot of children have dye sensitivity or allergies. So when I go to pick up, their medication for children, I have to look for dye free. Or if someone's diabetic, you're looking for low carb items that they may be able to have for snacks or whatever.
Now, I asked Kiley about what the response from families has been, but Sandra, I invite you to share that and what the response has been in Southern Aroostook as well, but also expand upon that a little bit and talk about how your involvement in this, what that means for you to be able to provide this critically important service.
Well, I mean, I've actually been called out on weekends because we are 24/7 when it comes to this program. So we could get a phone call or a text or whatnot from Theresa sending it to our supervisor. And even though it's on a Saturday or something else and you may have something planned, typically I have not had a problem with it, because if it was me in their shoes, and a lot of people don't want to ask for assistance, but they become desperate and afraid, because there's a lot of anxiety to it, because they may not be able to work. They're worried about their children. They're worried about if someone else needs to be quarantined into another room, how safe is that? What can we do about ventilation? Or like they'll ask you questions about, what can we do to make ourselves safer in our own home? And it's surprising with how many people have asked questions about that, which shows me they are interested in getting better as soon as they can and making their families healthy as they can. And I've actually had people, when I've delivered the food on the doorstep, put up their window and holler out of the house how thankful they are that we were able to provide this service, because they didn't know what they would do otherwise, because they didn't, a lot of people, which surprises me in Aroostook County, everybody, you automatically assume everybody has family around. But, what I've learned is there are a lot of families out there that don't have, close friends or family that they feel if they can call upon to, pick things up for them. But everybody has been very thankful. Well, I mean, everybody has, I shouldn't say most, generally, everybody has. I went to Benedicta 3 times in one weekend, and every one of them apologized that they came down, because one woman, it was from one, they all got it from one workplace. So I got the first referral, and then they said, can we refer other people that we know at work that has it? I said, by all means. I said, do you want to do the referral or I? She says, I'll do it. By the time I got home, there's another referral. And, so back to Benedicta you go after you contact the family and stuff. But like I said, even doing it on weekends, you're doing a service for somebody that needs it. Most families in Aroostook County don't like to, and are uncomfortable with asking for the help. And so to me, when they're reaching out on weekends and stuff like that, it's because they need it. And my thought is, if I can meet that need, that's my job, is to meet that need, even if it is on a weekend. So
Yeah, and I think
I'm proud to be able to do this.
Well, thank you for the great work that you are doing, and you, Kiley, as well. I think that Sandra, Kiley just hit on the head. It's true that usually in Aroostook County, we're one big small town, and usually you can rely on that network of folks. But oftentimes, Sandra just said, you may want to rely on a friend who's a coworker, but you're all in the same boat because you're all asked to quarantine because you've been exposed to the same person. So sometimes it's that network might not be available to you.
Right.
So from your perspective, Kiley, how has this work made you feel as an individual and as somebody you went through the social work profession, a family coach, and this is probably work that you never thought you'd be doing in your career.
Yeah, it is a little different, but it's awesome that we can help in that way. I mean, when you know that these people wouldn't have food or have the Tylenol that they need or a thermometer, and that you can just literally bring it and drop it off to them, and you don't have to contact them, so like you don't get COVID too. But it just makes you feel really good that you can provide that instant service for them and help them right then, because it's not always that way in the world.
Now, Theresa, go ahead, Sandra.
And I have had a family that, it was a very sad situation. A retired couple took care of their elderly, one of their elderly mothers lived with them. And she was back and forth being discharged from the hospital for it. And I do believe she's passed away. And the husband was having a hard time with his respiratory, and his wife was having a very hard time, but she wouldn't go to the emergency room because she was afraid of the emergency room because there were so many other people there with COVID that she figured if she didn't have it, she was gonna. So she said she was going to continue to just monitor. And they had been cooped up in the house for quite a few weeks because of, back and forth from the hospital with the mother-in-law. And so to get out of the house, they would each take the car themselves and go for a drive around town and then come back, park, because they weren't interacting and they didn't stop or anything, but that was their only way to get out and, just get away from the house and the stress for a little, short period at a time. But I do believe the mother-in-law did pass away.
Now, Theresa, that is a very real fear. And I'm sure that many of the people that you're sort of managing referrals to some of our coaches like this to fulfill across Aroostook County, this is also beyond just being a time of being isolated in quarantine, a time of, of the unknown, of where is this going to go? What's going to happen? We're hearing all kinds of stories like the one that Sandra just shared, where people are becoming very ill or even unfortunately losing their life as a result of COVID. I think that makes this service that much more critical because it's helping to both hopefully curb the further spread, but also alleviate some of the anxiety that doesn't need to be added to the plate at the time.
It's interesting that you bring that up because over the past couple of weeks, I've received more referrals coming in from the department or DHHS that is asking us to assist with scheduling appointments. So typically if those referrals are coming in, those are the ones that I typically call and I'll do the phone interview with to get them scheduled at their local Walgreens for a rapid test because they're just not feeling well. And they've had that close contact with an individual who's tested positive. I kind of going back to what Sandra has said, we had a referral that came through to somebody that lost 2 family members in a very brief period of time. Reached out to her and said, is there anything that ACAP can do to help you? And she was very honest and said, I have family in the area. I have great church support. So I think that I'm okay. And I just simply said, can I call you in a couple of days to check? So it's just making that human connection. I think that that's very important right now to maintain that and to let people know that, I may not know you personally, but, your mental health and your well-being is something that I do value. And I do want to ensure that, your needs are met during this time.
That's that
Well-
one big small town, Aroostook County support service sort of approach to things. So that's fantastic. I really appreciate you sharing that story and that example. Lastly, Theresa, I just want to touch base with you because you joined ACAP coming from another community action agency. And I just want to share, because sometimes, you know, we share this on social media and others may be hearing, gosh, this is really great that this is happening in Aroostook County, but it's happening beyond just Aroostook County, correct?
It is. My sister CAP that I worked for was Midcoast Maine Community Action in Bath, Maine. And this was one of the programs that I did oversee as a director there. Seeing the impact and the referrals coming through, and we had a very large service area as well. So it's trying to meet the need. There might be times, for instance, that Kiley and Sandra might reach out. It could be late on a Friday night and try to triage the situation and say, you know, are you okay until Monday? Is this something that you need us to do immediately? If it's an immediate need, we're more than happy to assist. If they're saying, you know, we can go until Monday, then we're taking that and, you know, checking with them first thing on Monday. But all of the other CAP agencies throughout the state of Maine do hold this contract. So if you have family, for instance, that's in Lewiston, and they're being impacted by COVID and they're being asked to quarantine or isolate, there is a community action agency within their area that they can contact and ask for assistance and help. And we see it all the time. We may have somebody call us and need assistance with a referral, but it might not be our area. It takes just a few minutes to complete that referral to help that family member who may have somebody downstate that needs help, but they just don't have the ability to do it. So we're more than willing to pitch in and help in whatever fashion that they need.
Very good point.
Jason,
Yes, Sandra.
one thing I'd like to add that I really want to stress to the community is last month, I actually had more referrals in that 1 month than I did all last year when this started. In 1 month, I had, like I said, I had more than what I had all last year. And COVID is out there. You know, whether you believe the vaccination is going to work or not, it's out there. And there's people my age that I know and that have had it and almost died. They were on ventilators for a month or 5 to 6 weeks, and they are now recovering. But the recovering process takes a long period of time. And, you know, we've had several businesses where there are, you know, a large number, to the point where they've almost had to consider shutting down that, you know, place of employment because of it. And then there's some places that they can't close down because there's other people that they take care of. You know, so it's hard all around for everybody. And it's not just elderly people that are getting this. It's, you know, 40-50-year-olds. And that was at one time not in the time frame of what, or the age range of what they were seeing the COVID virus hit. But now, to me, with what I've seen last month and starting again, I guess this month, it's, you know, it's out there and it's in every town. Last month I was from, you know, traveling 40 miles one way. And then, you know, going east, you know, another 25 miles, or going north, you know, 10 miles, you know, it's out there and it is very, very serious.
Indeed. Sandra, those were some great words and words that needed to be spoken. Kiley, let me get your final thoughts before we leave this broadcast as well.
I just hope that everybody knows that this service is available, and hopefully, like, we share it some more now, because I don't think that people did, and that we can reach anyone that is actually, you know, quarantining or at home, because I think that there's a lot that we don't know about that we could help out. So if we could just get the word out there more, that would be wonderful.
Thank you. And Theresa, your final thoughts on this?
The one thing that I do want to stress is this is a little bit different than our other programs. There is no income basis or guidelines for this. So any family that is being asked to isolate or quarantine, we're able to assist with. There are minimal questions. It's very low barrier. So reaching out when you need that assistance or that helping hand, regardless of who you are. And, you know, the income level is non-applicable when it comes to this program. So I think that that's something that's very important to stress, that, you know, you just have to pick up the phone and call, and we'll complete that application with you, or the Word doc to get that done and the referral done.
Thank you, Theresa. And if you will indulge my audience here just for a moment on just a quick personal note that brings home Sandra's message. My family currently, as the recording of this broadcast happens, is actually quarantining and isolating right now, as we've had a positive case within our family. And we have thankfully not had to use these services because we had just stocked up on groceries and have what we need for the time being, but it certainly would not have been something that we would have hesitated to do had we needed and should we need it moving forward. Our family right now is doing just fine, so thank you for your thoughts and well wishes as it relates to that. We are actually awaiting COVID test results for the other 3 members of our family now. And hopefully those will come back negative. And the 1 member impacted in our family showing very mild symptoms. All 4 of us are vaccinated. So from that perspective, we have a breakthrough case in this household. So please be aware that we do credit, though, that vaccination with keeping our family member in a better position in terms of the severity of the effects of the COVID-19 virus. So I wanted to share that with all of you as a matter of transparency, but also to underscore what Sandra and Kiley and Theresa have said about the importance of these services being available in the community and the importance of us understanding the prevalence of COVID-19 in our communities at this point. So thank you for indulging me with that. And again, thank you to you, Sandra, to Kiley, and to Theresa for being my guests on this edition of ACAP today. Before we leave you, I just want to remind you of a couple of things. Again, the quarantine social supports that we talked about, but also the navigation. Even if you do not have or aren't a close contact and are being asked to quarantine at this time, if you need other services, we have those available for you. In addition to that, if you are hearing the great work that these members of our team are doing and really feel passionate about that work and what we are able to do here in Aroostook County, we encourage you to join our team. If you think that you have what it takes to be a member of the ACAP team and to fill any of the positions listed here on your screen, we have some great benefits, and we're also offering a $500 sign-on bonus at this time. So please do consider checking that out on our website and our social media, and consider applying for a position with our agency. We'd love to have you join us. And lastly, in our snapshot of the week, before we leave you, it was a rainy and chilly day on Thursday of last week for our harvest celebration at our 771 Main Street location. But we did serve some baked potatoes and served up some great information, including on our quarantine social supports at our location near Walmart last year. We want to thank Pelletier Farms in Fort Kent and Randy Martin from the Central Aroostook Water Conservation District for their donation of potatoes to make this event possible, and thank all of our team members, 2 of the great team members right there on your screen, and the 3 that have joined me in this broadcast, and the 200 more across Aroostook County that make the magic happen every day and do wonderful things to make life better for the people of Aroostook County. So with that, I thank you so much. Again, thank you to our guests for joining me, but thank you also to all of you for watching this broadcast. And if you know anyone who could benefit from the quarantine social support services or any other services ACAP is offering right now, please share the information, share it widely. We want to be a resource for everyone in Aroostook County who needs our support and our services. Thank you again for joining us, and have a great rest of the week.